Mike is hot. Have a great show.
Thank you. You as well. Hit record, please.
It is. Witnesses.
And welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, but with my attorney advice throughout the way. Any questions whatsoever during the show, people are standing by right now to answer them. All you have to do is call the phone number on the screen, 407-205-0400. We're going to take some tours of awesome properties, but if you want to start the house hunt this weekend, you will need to be pre-approved Dallas Lehman with You Have Mortgages standing by to do that for you right this moment. Again, it's the same phone number, 407-205-0400. Excellent show for you this Saturday. You will not want to miss one single minute, but first it's time for the opening statement. The opening statement is brought to you by my good friend, Stephen Bader with IQ Power Solar. As you know, I haven't worried about the heat at all this summer. Our AC is down to 68 degrees. Literally, I have to wear a hoodie at night in my house because I don't care about the electricity bill because I don't really have one. I used to pay $500 a month for electricity. Now I pay $50 a month for electricity, and that's all because I went solar and because I did it through IQ Power Solar. Steve, how did you do it? All right, you know that mortgage delinquencies are going up because of the pandemic, but I will caution you. We are in a pandemic, yes. A real estate collapse, we are not in a real estate collapse whatsoever. But if you look at the numbers, the delinquencies on your mortgages have significantly increased as of the last quarter. The rate overall right now for delinquencies, I mean, people not paying their mortgage is at 8.22% overall at the end of the second quarter. However, if you look at FHA loans delinquencies, 15.65%, which is actually higher than the Great Recession that began in 2008. And the purpose of the show today is to figure out what that really means for us here on the ground, real estate-wise. What does it mean for our real estate values here in Florida? Because if you look at the states with the highest rate of delinquency, Florida is right at the top of the list, along with New Jersey, Nevada, New York, and Florida. But what does it mean? Is this 2008 again? My argument is it's absolutely not 2008 again. In fact, the real estate market here is on fire. So how do we justify having people not paying their mortgages, yet the real estate market on fire at the same time? Because that's what we're going to have to figure out over the next year. And over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to tell you how it will affect you. But first, it's time for real questions. Every Saturday here on You Have Real Estate, I ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Today on the show, first-time visitor, Renee Wrigley. Renee, how are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for being here. And for his second time, it's Peter Fatizzi. Peter, welcome back. How are you, sir?
Thank you, Justin.
And Peter, let me start with you. We've done 1,000 short sales together. I know you made somewhat of a niche of being an investor in weird and volatile markets.
Yes.
But right now we've got foreclosures going up.
Yes.
In a seller's market. What does this mean for us?
Well, it means that we have from an investor standpoint, I think you're going to have a short-term opportunity to take advantage of this market. To me, it's a blip. It's because of obviously the COVID-19 coming through, people going into forbearance on their mortgages versus, deferment. You're going to have an opportunity potentially if they cannot get out from under that situation, or if they wind up not having a job to go back to, there's going to be some opportunity there. It won't last long. I think maybe 3 months worth of this blip. And then basically, if they need help, I mean, obviously they can come to you. Maybe from a deferment standpoint, you can help work them out to the bank and get them back, on track again. If not, and they can't fix things and they don't have a job, then what's going to happen? They may have an issue where they're going to potentially lose their property or something. So that's where somebody like myself can come in and help them navigate through that. You may have an issue with, short sales if the property value is worth more, if the loan is worth more than what the property value is. And obviously I specialize in that. But personally, this is a short-term thing. This is not a long-term situation. It's going to pass. I highly predict that. It is so not 2008. There's going to be great opportunity there. I personally like to help people regardless, whether it is to buy a property or just get them situated with their properties, and get them back on track. Deferment, as you may or may, well, I know you're aware, it's basically where the bank will say, hey, you can stop paying your mortgage for the next 90 days. The problem is when they do that, they're going to come back to them after the 90 days and want them to, catch that up somehow. If the bank's not willing to work with you or negotiate with that, they may want it all up front. They may want to tack it into payments, work out some kind of a plan with you. If you can't do that, though, you're going to get in trouble. The other problem is you're at that 90-day mark, which is absolutely crucial, because a lot of times that's when the banks will start the foreclosure process or start a lis pendens filing. And that's what you really have to pay attention to with these lenders. So they're all different. They all work in different manners. And that's why it's very important. If you find yourself not being able to fix that or catch that up, they need to come talk to somebody like yourself to get this worked out immediately and not let it get any further behind.
Now, Renee, let me bring you in here. And you must be good if our very own Kirsten O'Connor hired you to do her own real estate, huh?
Yes.
Kick me twice if she was a problem customer. Kick me under the table, kick me twice. That way no one's going to see.
No, her and her husband were both great.
Awesome. So what are you seeing out there in the market right now? I mean, the delinquencies are going up, but what kind of an effect is that having on the real estate market and the values in the real estate market here, if anything?
It's not really affecting it. I think because inventory is so low and buyer demand is so high, it's not going to offset it really at all. Like he said, it'll be a blip.
I totally agree. I mean, if you had to describe this market as a buyer's market or seller's market, what would you say?
It's definitely both. I mean, it's a really strange time right now, and it's a great time for real estate. So,
how do you think these low interest rates are affecting real estate? Because if you look at the rates right now, really an all-time low, historically low, but a lot of times we're seeing as an all-time record low interest rates. How is that affecting the real estate market?
It's really increasing the buyer's buying power. You can afford more of a home. So even though the prices are going up, don't be afraid of that because the low interest rates offset that. So you can just, buy a medium-priced home with the low interest rates.
Yeah. So let's say that you're working with me. I'm trying to buy a house, and I find one I really like. Is now the time to go in and lowball some offers, or are you seeing people come in full price immediately?
Definitely full price. There will be a lot of multiple offers, even for homes priced $600,000-$700,000. There are multiple offers right now.
Is that right?
So yes, definitely go in high. Go in with the best offer that you can.
Do you see any parts of Central Florida where I can still get a deal? I mean, are there any deals to be had right now?
I would say some homes that need work. There will still be some of those out there. Homes that are completely updated and ready to go are flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
So.
Now, Peter, what do I do in that situation? Let's say I am buying a house. I'm buying it for me. I'm not buying it to flip, but it does need some work. I mean, should I hire a construction guy to come in and give me a quote, or what should I do in that situation when I'm trying to buy a fixer-upper, but I don't know exactly what I can afford or what it's going to cost to fix up? What do you recommend your clients?
Well, you need to work with an agent that understands where the market value is on that particular property. Yeah, it might need some work, but if it's in a good area and it's one of those kind of properties that you can't really go wrong whether you kind of fix it up at the time or don't, then you need to jump on it. And I would still recommend that you probably go in in this market right now. I mean, you might be able to shave a little bit off the price depending on how much work the property needs, but you still need to be pretty close to par, I think. You could, and if you get it under contract, take advantage of I would take advantage of the inspection period, bring someone in just to get an idea how much work it might need. Yeah. Because you've got a contingency there. Don't use that as an excuse on the front end, though, because I think it might actually hurt you.
And is there any room on the mortgage in that situation, or do I have to just pay cash out of pocket to fix it up? I mean, can I get a loan that allows me to fix it up?
Well, there are some. Well, a lot of mortgages, they're going to look at the main things. They're going to look at roof. They're going to look at the electrical. They're going to look at the plumbing, and that has to all be up to par or code, depending on what kind of mortgage you're going to get. If it's really bad, yeah, you're going to have to go in on cash. And that might be an advantage there because a lot of people don't have the cash to necessarily go in and buy. And depending on how I wouldn't say desperate, but how quickly the seller wants to sell, that might be an option too. Cash is always king.
I'm not looking for all your secrets or anything, but it's no secret you're an investor and you've been successful at that. Is there room right now to make money for an investor, for someone who maybe they're worried about the stock market collapsing or something? Is there money for an investor right now to make money in the real estate market?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. One of my specialties is dealing with short sales and mitigating with the lenders and the banks. Okay, yes, I have some secrets. I'm not going to give them away on the air, but there's a way I specifically go in with the banks and mitigate, negotiate with them. I know kind of what to look for. I know how to work with them. You really need to be with a professional, though, that understands that. I'm not saying all realtors are great. I love them. I've been doing it for almost 20 years now, but some realtors are just not skilled in this area. And it's also good to have a proper team and setup with an attorney such as yourself that can handle the foreclosure defense, understand how to mitigate with the banks, too, because they're really two separate things. Yeah. Very, very important. They do not, there are two things that actually work as one. But if you let one get ahead of you, you can really get messed up with it. My team is very great. They've been working with me for a very long time. They know what they're doing. You have to know how to work with negotiators, the processors, and the investors behind the scenes too.
And what do you think, Renee? I mean, when you first said, hey, you know what, I want to be a real estate agent, what came over you? How did you decide to get into real estate?
Well, I've always loved real estate and looking at homes, but I love helping people. It's the best feeling when you get a family in a home and they're excited and it's their dream home.
And it's super easy because you only work, half a day a week, right? It's pretty easy out there.
Sure.
Huh? You don't have to check emails 24 hours a day or anything, correct?
Right. Not on holidays or vacations either.
To be a successful agent, what kind of hours do you really have to put in? What do you have to do to be successful at it?
Well, I would say you have to be available for your clients. They're always going to have questions and concerns, and just being available. It could be 9 o'clock at night. It could, be first thing in the morning. So the good thing about real estate is you can be flexible. You can work as hard as you want or as little as you want. And obviously, with anything, the harder you work, the better you do.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And speaking of working hard, you have a couple of awesome properties here to show us as well. Mm-hmm. Derek, I think we'll go ahead and show some properties here if you don't mind. And we're going to go to 1931 Laurel Road. Renee, tell me about this property.
Yes, this is located in Winter Park. It's just a few blocks off of Lake Virginia and pretty close to downtown Park Avenue. Built in 2006. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. $3,150 for the square feet. So it's a really nice size, open layout. It has great custom molding, wood floors, downstairs master bedroom. Let's see what else.
What is the price point on this one? It's a nice place in Winter Park.
Yeah, price point is $975,000, so $975,000 for that one.
Let's say that we put this house somewhere else, somewhere that wasn't Winter Park. Mm-hmm. Let's say we put it down in Winter Garden.
Okay.
What does this house cost in Winter Garden?
For that size, probably in the 600s or 700s.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so obviously location is key for this one.
Everyone's willing to pay additional monies for that Winter Park address for sure. What do you think, too? Let's say that you're working with someone who's going to sell their house and the house needs work. Is it better to spend my money renovating the house and then sell it, or is it better to sell the house unrenovated and save the money from construction? What do you think?
Honestly, in the luxury market right now, I would probably do some renovating. That price point seems to be leaning towards homes that are ready to go versus renovating. Although we are selling tear downs in Winter Park for new builds.
Is that right?
So we have a lot of that going on as well.
Must be nice. That looks like a nice house. I'll go ahead and tear it down and build a brand new one.
It's all about location.
What do you think, Peter? If I'm going to sell my house, should I spend the money renovating it myself and sell it, or should I just sell it unrenovated? Because obviously there's a cost to the renovation.
Mm-hmm. Again, I think it really depends on how much you're going to do. But no, if it's a heavy renovation, I would absolutely not do it. I would put the house on the market right now. You're going to get a good dollar amount for it, even if it's, let's just say the house is like this one house we were looking at was like $900,000. Even if you marked it at $100,000 under, I would do it in a heartbeat and let them deal with it. It's so much better because it's going to cost you more in the long run when you renovate anyway.
Are there Band-Aid renovations that sometimes you do to? I'm not saying to do anything fraudulent. I'm saying to just maybe a coat of paint or something like that.
In certain occasions, depending on if the house is structurally sound and there's not major issues and it's just cosmetic, to me that should not differentiate too much in the way you go to sell the property. I mean, someone can go in there and do that kind of work.
Yeah.
But if you have major work or you're relocating walls and that kind of thing, no, very different story.
Got it. If you have any questions about this property or you would like to see this property right now, give us a call, 407-205-0400. I'll connect you immediately with Renee. You can see it this weekend if you want. It's a beautiful house in Winter Park. You can see it right now. Just call Renee. And another property, too, here. This is Morehouse Drive. Renee, tell me about this one.
This home is very large. It's over 5,000 square feet.
Whoa.
Yes, it's a 7-bedroom, 6.5 bath, and it's located in the Parkside community of Dr. Phillips. So really close to the Disney area, Restaurant Row. So it's a great location. It has a really large kitchen, granite island, open floor plan, terrazzo flooring, master on the first floor. The outside is great. It's got a really great pool and screen lanai. It's also located close to Dr. Phillips Community Park, which has a splash pad, sports field. So really nice newer community. This was built in 2013, that particular home.
What's more sought after, Dr. Phillips or Winter Park? What do you think?
Depends where you work, but right now people are working from home. So I would say Winter Park, though.
What would you prefer? Would you rather live in Winter Park or Dr. Phillips? There are good restaurants in both.
True.
No, Dr. Phillips is too busy for me.
Is that right?
I like Winter Park.
I think I would go Dr. Phil. I don't know. It's a tough question, I
Yeah.
think. What would you choose?
Winter Park.
Winter Park?
Yeah, that's where our office is located.
Oh, gotcha. You have to say that. All right, Morehouse Drive. What is the price point on this one?
That list price is $890,000.
How many square feet?
5,280.
I mean, that's a pretty good
Yeah,
deal. I mean,
you
Dr.
get-
Phillips is still expensive. I mean, that's a
Right.
pretty good deal in Dr. Phillips, I
Right.
feel
You get
like.
a little more money, or
Yeah.
a little more house for your money.
But that's, it seems like a fairly good price for Dr. Phillips, I would say. I like
Yeah.
Dr. Phillips.
Yeah.
But the traffic, yeah, is
That's
pretty
what
rough, huh?
to me, yeah, and I love Park Avenue and some of the other areas of Winter Park. So, I mean, I agree. I would rather be in Winter Park. Dr. Phillips is more affordable.
Yeah, but it's one of those things too. If you talk to someone who lives in Dr. Phillips, they love Dr. Phillips. They would never leave. Just like someone who lives in Oviedo is like, I'm never leaving Oviedo.
True.
Or someone like me in Lake Mary, we're like, I'm not leaving
I'm in
Seminole County.
Longwood. I live in the Wekiva line, and
Yeah.
I love it. I
Abs-
like it quiet. I like it peaceful.
Awesome. Any questions about these properties? Renee will show them to you right now. 407-205-0400. Peter, you brought some properties for us to tour as well. We're going to start on East Parr Street. Where is
Yes,
this?
this is an incredible piece of property. It is right on the corner of Parr Street and I-4. This is a commercial piece. It is prime location for an office building of some type. It really is just, the location is just absolutely superb. I've had this listed for a little while. We had it under contract for over $1 million. And but what happened is they had a longer due diligence time frame. By the time we got close to going fully hard with the contract in terms of just being rock solid, the COVID hit, and then everything fell apart. So to satisfy the city, we wound up tearing down the existing building that was there because unfortunately the seller was being fined for code enforcements. And there is a billboard on the property. It is not included in the property. Please hear me on that. That is owned separately by Clear Channel, I believe, or one of the cable companies. But in any case, this would make, it's just such a superb location. I mean, you can't get any better. The traffic count there is just incredible.
So who buys this? Is it someone who's going to build a business there?
Well,
Is it an
for
investor?
instance, there's the Magruder Eye Clinic is right across the street, if that gives you any idea. So you could put a professional office building right there, a doctor's office, if you wanted to. I don't know if you'd want to. You could do a gas station, maybe a small gas station, maybe a CVS or a Walgreens, depending on their footprint. It might be a tad small, I don't know. But, I mean, the people that were going to take this on, they were an extermination company.
Right.
You know, they wanted to do, exterminating. So they were going to build their own building on it and everything.
What's the price point here again?
We lowered it to $980 now.
$980.
And I think it's a steal. I mean, you're not going to find anything in Orlando anywhere like this right near I-4.
Got it. All right, property number 2 is 241 and 261 East Church Street.
Yes.
Was it duplex?
No, they're both two houses. They are being sold together. The idea would be prime example of talking about, what you do in a situation like this. It's a mixed-use zone. So ideally, you would want to go ahead and probably tear down both of those properties and build some type of a multifamily project. You can get up to about anywhere between 25 and 75 units between the two based on the zoning. I've already checked with the city of Longwood. Great location. It's right where the Sunrail system is in Longwood there. You can see they have the apartment complex right next to it. Across the street, they started a Lennar Homes project that's going on right now. So it's going to be prime for somebody that wants to do a nice little multifamily project. But definitely the highest and best use is to do that, not to maintain the two properties that are
Right.
there.
Any questions about these properties, I will connect you with Peter directly, 407-205-0400. And lastly, let's go to Winter Springs, 4301, Highway 419?
Yeah, it's off of 419 and State Road 434. Again, in Winter Springs, another phenomenal piece of property, corner lot. It's over 7 acres. It's currently you'd have to go through zoning to get it changed with Seminole County. The city would control, I believe, the water on it. But I mean, ideally, this could be an apartment complex. It could be, you're right off of, the corners right there between 434 and 419 is just unreal. And the traffic count, again, is just superb here. You'd have to tear down an existing house that's on it. Believe it or not, back in the day, it was a farm. So there was a barn that was already taken down. But, I mean, the corner lot there is just incredible.
A dirt road, too?
No, it's actually got over 7 entrance and access points on the
I'm
property.
just kidding. You said it was a barn one
Well,
day.
it was
It's-
at one point. Yeah, okay, sorry.
It's weird
But
how
yeah,
time flies by.
Yeah,
huh?
and well, keep in mind, back in the day, Winter Springs was nothing but farm animals,
Yeah.
dude.
I know.
Now you should see it now. It's totally grown
Oh
up.
my, how they changed.
It is crazy.
Any questions at all for Peter? Again, it's 407-205-0400. Excellent job, both of you. Can you stick around for the Real Estate Roundtable? I'd love to have you.
course.
All right, great. And without further ado, it is time for your portion of the program. It's time for the Real Estate Roundtable. Every Saturday here, I answer your questions from throughout the week. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page at You Have Real Estate. Ask me a question right there, and we might just answer your question next Saturday here on the television program. Let's start with Maria in Castleberry. Do you see a significant drop in real estate values? What do you think, Renee?
Absolutely not.
Peter?
I don't see a significant drop in real estate values. What I do see is, in some aspects, maybe with some of the distressed stuff, we might have a little attrition of about, a couple percentage points on the top. I would have expected that, though, before the pandemic, because we were already getting into record highs.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, 2006 prices were really artificially inflated, I think. As we sit here today, we're basically now 14 years later in 2006 prices, maybe a tiny bit higher. I think back then they were artificially high. I think where the prices are now is really about where they should be. And as long as these interest rates stay where they are, people are going to want to buy real estate. And also, let's not forget the fact that we have a lot of people moving to Florida. Even before the pandemic, we had 900 and something people a day moving to Florida. Now that's going to increase as there's a mass exodus from people in New York and some of the bigger cities heading to Florida. And I think real estate's a great investment. I would be way more leery of putting my money in Robinhood, like half of you are doing right now, than putting my money in real estate, to be quite honest with you. That's the way I see
Amen.
it. And they're like, we weren't asking you anyway, Justin. We were asking Peter and Renee, but anyway, I put my 2 cents in. I hope you don't mind. All right, Lorraine in Orlando. Do you think banks will move faster on foreclosures this time? Peter, I think that's for you.
Again, I caution anybody that gets behind in their mortgage up to 90 days. I'm not saying I don't trust banks, but I know how they work and operate. Be very cautious about that. Work with somebody to help prevent you from going 90 days behind. I do think in some cases the banks may move a little more aggressively, but right now we have a lot of, because of some of the rules that have been put in place with moratoriums, they're certainly not going to be doing foreclosures right at the moment.
Yeah. Sally in Winter Park, any place in town where I can still get a good deal on real estate? What do you think, Renee?
I think if you move a little further out from the main city, away from downtown Orlando, away from Winter Park, you can get some good deals still. Yeah.
Any thoughts? Any particular pockets where I can still get a steal?
Yeah, if I mitigate and do them, I'll get you a good deal.
Excellent. Great job. Peter Fatizzi, great to see you again. Renee Wrigley, great to meet you.
Thank you.
Any questions for these guys whatsoever? It's 407-205-0400. If you want to start your house hunt right now, get pre-approved. Dallas Lehman is standing by at that very same phone number. Call him. You can start your house hunt right now. Start it this weekend while the rates are still at record lows. I'm seeing people get locked in, let's just say under 3%, which is quite honestly unheard of. That's free money. If your financial advisor was getting you 3%, you would fire him or fire her. So please give us a call. Get pre-approved right now. Buy real estate right now. Don't worry about this pandemic. The real estate market is great. But most importantly, thank you for joining us here today and every single Saturday. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and I'll see you next week for You Have Real Estate. Good job, guys.